church is often accused of being obsessed with sex, which, to be honest, I find a bit laughable. I mean, all you need to do is turn on the TV for 5 minutes to see who's really obsessed with sex. Out of a fear of being labelled prudes, we Catholics have remained largely silent on matters of sexuality for decades, whereas the culture around us is drowning in it. When approached in a healthy and appropriate way, sexual intimacy is indeed a beautiful and life-giving thing. But like anything good, it can also be misused for baser motives, as we see so often in our culture's popular media and advertising. The most obvious example of shallow sexuality in the internet age is the seemingly all-pervasive spread of pornography, which, it must be said, harms everything it touches. Not only are its performers chewed up and spat out like so much meat, but entire generations of children are being exposed and subsequently hooked to porn at ever younger ages, causing their still developing brains to be warped by the normalization of often cruel and exploitative behavior, and rendering concepts such as courtship or even romance largely unintelligible. We're only scratching the surface of the full impact this monumental shift is having in our culture. Now, rather than resigning ourselves to the thought that nothing can be done about this, we Catholics should recognize that we are sitting on a great treasure, one that we should not be shy about sharing. I'm talking about the often maligned and countercultural virtue of chastity. And to clarify, I don't mean celibacy, but rather the virtue that we're all called to cultivate, one which moderates the desire for sexual pleasure and integrates it within a healthy and life-giving framework. Of course, many people these days will laugh at the idea of chastity. However, I find it remarkable that at a time when the more horrendous expressions of immature sexuality, both in society and in the church, are being rightly lamented, so many turn a blind eye to our culture's over-the-top fanning of sexual desire, and the virtue of chastity and the self-control and discipline that make it possible is roundly mocked. Simply emphasizing the need for consent in matters sexual, while important, is woefully inadequate to the challenges of our time. And here's where we come in. G.K. Chesterton once said that each generation is converted by the saint who contradicts it the most. He noted that the saints restore the world to sanity by emphasizing whatever the world neglects, and that people instinctively seek out these saints, often after having ostracized them first, because they embody not what people want, but what they need. Well, given the pornification of our world, I would argue that the great saints of our age will be saints of chastity. In their integration and self-mastery, they will show us what true freedom looks like. And after the cynical laughter dies down, a desperate world will begin to ask where their strength comes from. As with all the saints, their strength will come from the Lord, who is the paragon and the source of all virtue. And this is something we can all strive for. If we find our strength in the Lord, our efforts at growing in chastity can be part of our contribution to the healing of the world. And should we ever fail in these efforts, the Lord's transformative mercy is ever present in the sacrament of reconciliation. When future generations look back to our time, may they see in us those saints of chastity who, armed with the Lord's grace, helped restore the world to sanity. Well, thanks so much for watching. If you want more info on the problems of pornography, check out the website fightthenewdrug.org. And for a taste of the Church's wealth of wisdom regarding human sexuality, check out St. John Paul II's remarkable Theology of the Body. Don't forget to support and pray for each other in all of this. And as always, until next time, be a saint.